Okay, so what I have happening here is the wall is a little bit thin on this side. I'm going to spin the wheel around so you can kind of see the wobble in the piece. And then I'm going to show you how to fix this while you're throwing. So as you can see, the vessel is not straight up and down. There's a big, huge space in here that needs to be fixed. And this is how you fix it. You're going to clean off your wheel head. Be careful not to speed your wheel up too much at this point in time because you can really throw the piece off center even more. You're going to start off with very clean hands. Alright, so very clean hands. I'm going to wet the inside of this. I'm going to put my left hand down in there. I'm going to wet my left hand a little bit so it'll slip on the clay. The reason you want to start off with clean hands is so there's nothing that's going to catch on the clay. Slurry on your hands will catch the clay and pull it even further off center. So wet hands, clean hands, and start off. So you slide your hand down in here. You press firmly on the outside with your sponge. See, it's right in here that it's off center. And that's where I'm focusing the most of my attention to. Alright, now I'm going to focus up here at the top. So I'm pressing firmly on the outside with the sponge and supporting on the inside. I'm going to come back down to the bottom now. Come a little bit further into the bottom. Support on the inside and press firmly with the sponge on the outside. And see, that whole bobble is kind of coming out. We're getting a little bit more of a bobble up here at the top, but I'm going to fix that right now. I'm going to clean off my hands, wet the hand again, and press firmly on the outside and support on the inside. And that pretty much takes care of it. It's a little bit off center, but that's okay. Now I'm going to finish pulling this and shaping this vase. It's going to be a very simple vase with a smaller center than the bottom or the top. This is 2 pounds of clay. And when I'm finished with it, it should be about 9 to 10 inches, maybe even a little bit taller. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to pull up, just very, very gently pull up the clay. It's thin and wobbly. I didn't do a very good job pulling this cylinder, but that's okay. I'm going to get it fixed. See the push out at the top of my sponge? That's my left hand. Yeah, I'm going to have to go on the inside. I'm going to have to smooth this out a little bit. I'm doing the exact same thing I did last time. Okay, before you saw this. So I'm going to just collar it in. Again, my hands are nice and clean. And I'm going to collar in this section that is just totally off center. And that is going to thicken it up a little bit and thicken up the walls and allow me to pull up and shape the vase a little bit more. And it's okay if it's off center at this point a little bit, that's fine. I'm just trying to decide where I'm going to go from here. I'm going to go ahead and put my hand down in it and start at the bottom with my favorite metal rib again. And I am simply supporting on the inside and pushing with the rib on the outside. And it takes a lot of the slurry off the outside and allows me to really shape the vase a little bit further. I'm going to bring the top rim out a little bit. And I'm going to shape the bottom of it a little bit more. Going to take my next favorite tool, which is this wedge tool, and I'm going to clean off the bottom, give it a little bit of a lift, and put the nice smooth foot back on it, right there. Alright, so I'm going to stick my left hand down in again, pushing in with the metal rib, beginning to push out with the left hand just slightly. And continuing to smooth with the metal rib. The majority of the time, the metal rib presses firmly against the surface of the clay, and the interior hands support the clay. So what I'm doing now is just going over the piece to make sure that all the bobbles are gone, the visual bobbles. I want the eye to move freely up and down the piece without having any obstruction or movement. So it needs to be a very crisp and clean line. Alright, I'm going to put the foot on the piece now. Just gives it a nice termination at the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and put the rim on the top. Where I guess there already is a rim, I'm just going to accentuate the rim. So I'm going to put a piece here, a line here, and another line directly underneath it. Now I'm going to take my piece of plastic. It's just a simple piece of plastic that's been folded over. And I'm going to finish shaping the rim. I don't know if you noticed, but the rim was slightly cattywampus. This just simply took off the excess clay that was on the top and made it smoother. So I think that's almost perfect. I'm going to do just a little bit more shaping. Notice the angle of my rib against the pot. It's not going straight in. It's not going at a 45-degree angle here. It's going almost against the surface of the pot. And that just really helps to smooth it out. Alright, almost right in here. Gonna smooth out that section. And when we stop the wheel, it looks almost perfect. Gonna smooth out the bottom. And I guess we're done.